Hi, I'm Jenny from the plot, and this is my allotment. Welcome to my lady garden. You join me here live from the Brassica disaster zone, where I've actually managed to grow, wait for it, a cauliflower. Let me show you. Okay, is it small? Yes. Is it covered in slugs? Yes. Will I eat it? No, I won't. But I'm really impressed that I've actually managed to grow an actual cauliflower. Just having a little raspberry break. Now, it is a beautiful sunny day today. But, as they say on the Game of Thrones, winter is coming. And a couple of weeks ago, I watched one of Gang Gang and Peanuts videos, Mark's, about what he is growing over the winter. Now, this is not something I've really ventured into before, other than onions and garlic, which I will be getting in the ground over the next couple of months. But it did make me think about this lovely nemesia. Now, according to Jason, it's possible to overwinter nemesia. It should come back next year with a bit of luck. Now, I Googled it, as one does, and Mr. Google says you have to trim it down and then put it in a greenhouse or a cold frame, which is absolutely fine at home. At home, I have it in pots, which I can put in the cold frame. But here, in the bench, that's going to be a little bit more tricky. So what I thought I might do, this is the start of every great disaster. So I'm going to trim it down, and then I'm going to see if I can put some sort of fleece over the top of it. I might have to staple the fleece loosely onto the bench to keep the frost off it. What do you think? Is this a really bad idea? Well, I'm going to do it, and then if you think it's a bad idea, let me know, and I can always whip the fleece off. But first of all, let's trim it down. Right, well, they've had a haircut. They're looking all right, actually. A bit yellow. The soil feels nice and damp, so I don't think I need to water it. The rain should get through the fleece okay, I think. So, yeah, hopefully they'll stay moist over the winter. Right, let's have a go. I put stapling some fleece to my bench. Oh! Okay, well one layer will be enough, I reckon. I don't want them to roast. See, I thought I could sort of drape it over these, oh no, maybe it needs to go that way. That way. Oh crikey. I don't really want to have to move the bench. Yeah, I reckon that'll be all right. Yeah, looks like some sort of shroud or something. Does it go all the way down front and back? Yes, okay. Right, is there a way of doing this neatly? No, probably not. So I'll just show you what I'm doing. I'm trying to staple really loosely so that I can get them out in the spring. So I'm stapling like this so I can prise out the staples when I want to. Does that look super weird? Well, it might keep them alive. Now, Jen from plot number 13 also suggested that I could possibly overwinter my chilies and my peppers. I'm not going to think about that today. I'd quite like to, or I'd like to try, but I just don't know anything about doing it. If you know, if you overwinter chilies and peppers, let me know what I should do. Would they survive in the greenhouse, or do you need to bring them like indoors? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Now, as a novice of winter growing, I thought I'd start small, like really, really small, micro small. Yes, I'm going to grow some microgreens. And I've had this microgreens tower at home for months. I mean, about a year now. And I've never done anything with it. I bought it because I saw Kerry using one on Dog on the Plot. And it looked so gorgeous. I got all enthusiastic and impulse bought it on Amazon. I think it was about 30 quid. It's terracotta, it comes from Italy, and it comes with absolutely no instructions. So I had to do some serious Googling in order to work out how to get it to go. Apparently, you can use pretty much any vegetable seeds to grow microgreens. There are some things that you definitely can't use, like potatoes, tomatoes, aubergines, those kinds of things, because those would be poisonous. So do please Google every seed that you're thinking about growing for microgreens, just in case it kills you. But yeah, I think it's, if you can eat the leaves of the full-size plant, then you can definitely eat the microgreen version. And microgreens have 40 times the nutrition of the full-size plant, apparently. I mean, they're a lot smaller, but you know, so I guess you'd have to eat a lot of them. But yeah, and last week when I was experimenting with different seeds, free seeds for green manure, I thought, oh, maybe some of my free seeds could be used as microgreens as well. And so I've dug up a little selection, and I've Googled each and every one to make sure it's safe, and all of these can be grown for microgreens. So we've got Mizuna, we've got cabbage, but apparently pretty much any brassicas you can grow as microgreens. We've got kohlrabi. We've got radicchio, or chicory. I'm assuming that will be quite bitter, but I think in microgreen form I could cope with it. We've got amaranth. Never had that before. We'll give it a whirl. And we've got coriander. Now these seeds are positively ancient. I think they're used by like 2022 or something. So they may come to absolutely nothing, but we'll chuck them in, why not? Give them a whirl, they'd otherwise end up in the bin. So I am going to be using these seeds to grow microgreens, but as it's my first time doing it, and my next door neighbour Jez has given me a specific microgreen seed mix, I thought I would use that first, because you have to soak them overnight before you put them in the tower. So I've done that. And here they are, they've been soaking overnight. You have to rinse them before you put them in. You also have to soak the whole tower for 15 minutes in cold water before you use it for the first time, which I have done at home. It's also a good idea. This is all stuff that I've Googled. None of these instructions were sent to me. It's a good idea to wash your tower in between uses with 1 part apple cider vinegar to 20 parts warm water for 30 minutes. And that just keeps the bacteria and the mould at bay. The way it works is this: you have a section at the bottom with no holes in. That's where the water collects. Then you have 2 trays like this. Now, I don't know if you can see, but they've got holes in. That's where you put your seeds. Also on the internet, it did say to line your trays with a bit of kitchen paper so that the seeds don't get stuck down the holes. Sounds very, very sensible. So you have 2 trays for your seeds, and then you have a tray with holes to go on top, and that's where you put your water. You pour water in it twice a day, and it trickles through all the layers of the tower, trickles down, and you have to remember to empty the water that collects in the bottom of the tray. And supposedly within like a few days, you'll have lovely microgreens which you can chop off and sprinkle on your stews and your soups and your salads and your sandwiches and anything basically. It's also a good idea to turn the towers round. Can you see? Which raises them up and lets a little bit of light in after a few days. So you can let some light in. I'm just going to have a little play with that and see what works best. But here we go. Let's get on with it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop some kitchen roll to line the bottom of my trays. It's just enough to stop the seeds falling down the holes. Right, the tower's ready, prepped, so I just need to rinse my seeds and spoon them onto the trays. So I brought a sieve and a muslin because I didn't want the seeds just falling through. And then I'm going to spoon them onto my trays. Now I think I've somewhat overestimated how much I need. It did say online to make it a sort of thickish layer so that you couldn't see the bottom of the tray. Even so, I have definitely done too much. I think there are actually other things you can grow microgreens, like you can grow them in jars and things. So maybe I'll pop these back in the pot and find some jars when I get home and Google how I'm going to be overrun. I'm going to be overrun with microgreens. I'm going to have them coming out of my ears. So we can pop the final bit of the tower on and give it its first water. Oop. Fill it up to the top, and actually you can see the water going down already. And then we'll put the lid on. So now I've just got to figure out a way of getting this home without knocking it over and spilling everything everywhere. But we'll figure it out. Let me know if you're growing anything over winter. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.